If I woke up tomorrow and my sole goal was hitting Immortal, there are quite a few things I'd immediately add to my routine. Some of them are obvious, some of them aren't. And interestingly enough, not all of them actually involve playing Valorant. More often than not, all the routine related videos on YouTube just give you a blueprint and therefore ask you to follow it, but not every aspect of that routine can be said to target your actual weaknesses as a player. Routines are meant to be personalized after all, just like it is for skincare or workout routines, because everyone is genetically made up differently. Similarly, players like yourself progress in the game at different paces and in different ways. Your cursor placement could be amazing, yet you don't know how to peak, and it can be vice versa. Rather than give you a routine, I'm going to tell you different activities that target different skills, which you can add to your routine depending on which skills you lack, which will allow you to reach your dream rank. I would also recommend checking out this video on my channel if you want to know more about warming up. Halt! Before I get started, here are my credentials. I'm Yonika, a 19-year-old Immortal 3 player who climbed from IM3, so trust me when I say I have been through the trenches and have a good idea of what it takes to both rank up and improve as a player. Join me on my journey as I attempt to make a career for myself out of the game I enjoy playing so much. And if you get to stick around even after this video, you'll be able to see how I climbed the rank ladder and become one of the only players to have gone from Iron to Radiant. Chapter 1. Vision and Target Acquisition. The skills being trained in this chapter include finding targets quickly, identifying targets, and tracking where players are. To improve these skills, you can follow these activities. Number 1. Eye tracking exercises. Sometimes the issue is in your aim, and sometimes your eyes are simply slower at finding what's important on your screen. The best way to train this is through an FPS eye training video on YouTube, which will help you improve on tracking moving objects, smooth pursuit exercises, focus switching, and target acquisition. I would also like to recommend finding a video with a black background so the experience is easy on your eyes. Number 2. Hard bots in the range. Hard bots force you to locate targets quickly before they disappear, therefore it's also quite effective at training target acquisition. I would recommend hard bots right after an eye training exercise to double down on it. It helps with improving target acquisition, visual processing speed, and initial flicking. Once I can find a target quickly, the next question becomes whether I can actually hit them. Chapter 2. Raw mouse control. The skills being trained in this chapter include flicking, precision, and micro adjustments. To improve these skills, you can follow these activities. 1. Head into the range to train accuracy. The range allows you to practice in-game skills either in isolation like flicking, or in combination with another such as movement and shooting. What you can do here varies. You can stand still and shoot the bots, allowing you to practice target switching. You can updraft and shoot bots with jet knives, allowing you to practice your aim depending on your vertical height. You could also track strafe and bots. The list goes on. Because there's so many ways to use the range for different skills, my advice would be to investigate where you're lacking as a player and find ways to work on these skills within the range, either by looking up advice for that specific skill online, or you can personally just ask me. Before I continue, selfish plug here, but if you have any questions you want answered live, I stream on Twitch and we'll be trying to do so every day at twitch.tv/Yonikas. Pull up and come say hi. All the links to my socials are in the description down below. Thank you. The range is a multifaceted domain for skill training. Just learn how to make the most of it. Personally, what I use the range for is strafing and shooting bots, plus jet knives and updrafting. I don't doubt my mechanics, but I can be inconsistent sometimes. However, I noticed the most consistency with my mechanics when I let my hands do the talking rather than my head. So I stay in the range till I get deep focus. Number 2. Aim trainers. I won't go into this much because I barely have 24 hours on any aim trainers combined, and yet I still shoot like this. So personally, I don't think they're mandatory. However, if you're new to the game or you're a low rank, I would advocate for them for improving your raw aim the fastest. Because my aim is already at a decent state, I don't get as much return on investment with my time in aim trainers. But if I wanted additional reps outside the game, this is where they would fit. Being able to shoot heads is great, but gunfights involve more than aiming. This leads me to chapter 3, gunfight hygiene, one of my favorite concepts. The skills being trained in this chapter include movement, counter strafing, cross placement, and learning how to take proper fights. To improve these skills, you can follow these activities. Number 1, deathmatch. The key note is that you're not playing to win, okay? You play deathmatches to build good habits. Deathmatches are multifaceted also, just like the range. They can be used to work on cross placement, peeking technique, and movement discipline, all in a multitude of ways. So my advice is the same as in the previous section. Investigate where you're lacking as a player, and find ways to work on those skills in deathmatch. However, playing them blindly is also an option because with enough reps, assuming you're being conscious of how you're taking your fights, you start to adapt and fix your mistakes if you repeat them constantly. I experienced this when I played 100 deathmatches in a row recently, new video scene. However, I wouldn't advocate for that as it has a low return on investment. If I had time for only one thing, or had to choose one option out of everything I mentioned to train my mechanics, it would be deathmatches. Now, winning gunfights is important, but becoming better at Valorant takes more than individual skill. Chapter 4. Team play. The skills being trained in this chapter include trading, which is when you exchange the death of a teammate for a frag on the enemy to even out player count. Spacing. This is the space you keep between you and your closest teammate, allowing you to trade them. And timings. These are moments in the game where you can find an opportunity to disrupt the enemy team. To improve these skills, you can follow these activities. 1. Team Deathmatch. Most people use TDM as another gamer to just shoot people. However, I think it's much better used for learning how to play around people. You can use TDM to practice the following skills: trading, following pressure, timing swings, playing off teammates, and, underratedly, if that's a word, practicing your minimap awareness. Mechanics may help you win fights, and team play help you win rounds, however both are lost without good chapter 5 decision making. The skills being trained in this chapter include adaptation, pattern recognition, and mid-round choices. Good decision making comes from good and well developed game sense and awareness. To improve these skills, you can follow these activities. 1. Ranked. Yeah, so this might sound crazy, but getting better at the game involves actually playing. You can't learn pressure, adaptation, or utility usage inside the range, not from just watching other people play. We often compare ourselves to those better than us, or over-obsess over what we think is talent. For example, Quintero, who was said to be the next big thing in Valorant. Most people would assume he was built like that. Research a tiny bit and realize he has over 7,000 hours in the game. So before you start to make any excuses about talent, put in the hours first. Number 2. VOD reviews. This is where you can learn from all your ranked experiences and from others too. Without reflection, your growth will be slow and you are simply collecting games. But none of this matters if I'm mentally and physically operating suboptimally. This leads me to chapter 6, a real life routine. This can be broken down into 1. Sleep, which helps with reaction time, focus, and emotional control. 2. Diet, which helps with stable energy and reduced crashes. 3. Physical activity, which helps with blood flow, injury prevention, and better focus. And lastly, 4. Wrist and arm exercises, which helps with reducing fatigue, longevity, and warming you up for the game. You can find videos to address all these parts of your life online. However, again, if you want more details on these subjects, check out my video. I'll come into stream or join my server to ask me questions. Now chapter 7, putting it together. Most routine videos fail to let you know that you should pick and choose which parts to copy or not. In fact, they should advocate for it rather than just give you a routine to follow up blindly. Understand that the goal isn't to do everything, the goal is to understand why you're doing something. Now, if your target acquisition is poor, you know exactly what addresses it. If your team play is lacking, you know what activity addresses it. If your decision making is weak, you know where to spend your time. Because then you're not randomly doing routines, you're solving problems. To end the video off, I will say a lot of players ask for the best routine, and I think that's the wrong question. The better question is, what skill am I trying to improve? And what activity gives me the most reps at improving it? Once you can answer that question, building a routine becomes significantly easier. Once again, if you want to know more about warm-up routines, check out this video on my channel, and if you made it this far, I hope I provided you with a ton of value and made everything make sense. If you want to support me in my future videos, drop a sub, I promise the button won't bite. I'm also more than willing to answer any questions about specific scenarios in your gameplay or other related topics in my Discord server or Twitch streams, so feel free to join using the links down below. All my platforms will be linked there as well. Thank you so much for watching, and know that you are loved and appreciated for making it to the end.